So today, I just wanted to make a quick video because why not? Uh, I want to give you a kind of what I've been doing for the last few whatever, and what I've been recently doing is getting into a lot of gaming specifically, and one of the things that I always just kind of dislike about gaming is that a lot of the time it's not really portable, um, or it's just kind of it's a lot to like lug around either a laptop or a console with you. So I think the main thing really for me was getting something that can go on the go. I already have a laptop, but I prefer to use that for work. So really, the main reason what I'm talking about, or the what I'm talking about today, is essentially the Steam Deck. But I know you may know quite a bit about this, but this has to be like one of the best purchases for like a video game console that I've bought. Or I don't even know if you would really call this a console, but it's more like a portable computer in a console skeleton, if that's what you want to call it. But really this game, like this thing, better than any console I've bought. I've used Xboxes, I've used PlayStations, and this one's better. Um, of course, some people will say, "No, I'm wrong," and you're wrong. Everybody has their preference, of course. It's just mainly I like to compare this more between like a it's more like a PS 4.5 because it can play PS5 games on here. Like it runs pretty well. Like Spider Man, I'll probably boot that up later. But Spider Man specifically, it works really good. 60 FPS for Spider-Man. That's not bad. 60 FPS on a mobile console, and from my understanding, it lasted like maybe an hour or two. But it uses a USB-C, so you don't have to lug around like a giant laptop cable, like every other every other thing that you have to every other gaming system that you have to have. Same thing with like Nintendo Switch. I do like the same. It's the exact same idea as a Nintendo Switch. It's just more. It's more towards gaming on computer, obviously, because you get the added bonus of actually having control over your console, and you can play like old games. Like that's the reason mainly why I got this console is because it during like the Xbox 360 era, it's kind of for to put them on new screens is a little bit difficult, but having it on a little 720p screen at 60 hertz isn't bad, and it lasts quite a while. Like I was playing The Darkness 2, or recently I've been playing Sniper Elite 4, which is really good. I really love that game, and I was surprised how well it actually plays on this thing. It does a fantastic job at just being a little device you can just play on the go, and it's customizable. Like you don't have to have the main operating system on here. Like you can essentially instead of having the default Steam OS, I think it's called, um, you can have Windows. So you can have a perfectly functioning computer. I bought this for about 450, which is I bought it off somebody, but I was gonna buy a new one, but I thought, I'll just get one used because yeah, why not? And it ended up being a really good purchase because for 450 Canadian for a little mini computer. And by the way, I've also tested this out. This can run different software. It's not just games. It can run essentially all of the things that you'd want in like a normal desktop computer. So I was able to run. You might not be able to run like Adobe services because those are specifically tied to like Microsoft. But what you can do is like if you really wanted to, you can get more Linux because it's based. This is based off of Linux. It's a Linux distribution. That's what SteamOS is, from my understanding. And essentially, what you can do is install Linux software, which it may be a little bit more difficult than Windows. So you always have the option of switching the operating system on this device to Windows. But I never really. I already have a Windows computer. If I want to do my editing, I'm not gonna particularly do it on this, but it's nice to have the option to actually have a device that I can go on the go with and do editing or whatever. Like you can get DaVinci Resolve. I was looking at specifically for my music software that I spent a lot of time on, which is FL Studio. Um, it works on Steam Deck as well, but you got to run it through a few. You got to get it running a few I think it's compatibility layers. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but really, it's a good device. Honestly, I've used Linux before. The only thing I could say about this versus a console is that there might be some setup with any games that you play, like any games that you have on this device, whether it's hold on, let me just think of an example. Some games don't work, obviously. Like if you're playing a really intense game and that requires a lot of like a lot of power for it to run, obviously it's not going to work. It's like a mobile device. It's again, it's like between a PS4 and a PS5. It's not like the most powerful system out there, but it'll get the job done. Like you're going on the go, you don't really want something that's overpowered. Like it would drain the battery like pretty much instantly. I this is an older model too, and I do believe that the newer models are a little nicer, but I don't care. It's a nice device to have on the go. You can just play games or whatever. You can play like Sniper Elite 4. You can play South Park: The Stick of Truth. Anything that's really good. I I've been thinking about. I didn't complete Resident Evil 4, so I'm thinking about actually going back and completing that because it works on here perfectly fine. I do like playing like a lot of RPGs on this thing. I tried playing like a lot of first person shooters, but it's like you can play some of them, but a lot of them you're not going to want to play obviously on this, which there's always the option which you have the dock that you can buy with the system, which essentially you can use that as a little well, it's a dock. You can dock it in and then plug in a keyboard, plug in a mouse, and essentially rip some games on there. I'm pretty sure you could like play any game on like medium settings. Like most games this generation will probably work. Like anything that works on a PS4 that will work on this thing. It's not. That's why I say it's between a PS4 and a PS5. It's a bit more powerful than a PS4, but not as powerful as a PS5, which is fine. I never. The only thing I could compare this between, like, the only thing I could see being a negative with this machine is again that you might have to have some setup between some of your games, or if you want to like go through different libraries and you want to install Epic Games, you're gonna have to do that separately. You can't. It's not automatically installed with the system, but there's always workarounds. That's why I like devices that give you the actual ability to change the things about them. Because if you don't have the option, then it's not your device. It's just you own the device. You don't own the software. It's just kind of up to the developers to sell you their garbage, essentially, which has never been my favorite part of the gaming industry, especially on PlayStation, where they sell multiplayer server. Like for you to go online, essentially you have to pay for multiplayer services when you're already paying for your internet, which makes no sense. Like the only reason that these companies actually ended up starting with this was Microsoft ended up having Gold Pass when they originally released the original Xbox, which uh, okay, they can do that. It's fair. But you don't have to pay for a subscription with this. That's the main reason I got into PC gaming. Like, why am I paying a subscription for something like internet that technically I already pay for? It shouldn't be like that, really. Or being locked to the again being going to different gaming libraries. You're not just locked to Steam on this thing. You can also get like Epic Games or GOG or whatever that works on here. You have more options on computer than you do with a console where it's locked to what PlayStation, what Xbox, or what Nintendo says that the prices have to be. Which that's another note that really has nothing to do with the system. It's just more of I think it gives more freedom to the people who actually play video games or whatever. Like, why am I paying for a service that I'm already technically paying for? It just makes no sense, really. But yeah, no, I'll probably put up some footage while I'm talking, like Spider-Man or whatever, and I'll show it. It also has that's another thing actually I'm gonna bring up that I really like about the system. you have built-in stats, so you can actually see your FPS. You can see how your CPU is performing while you're running games or whatever, which is really nice to have because it's a fucking gaming PC essentially. You can test bench games on this thing if you really wanted to. I don't know why you would. It's a Steam Deck. It's kind of just it plays it or it doesn't. But I get it partly. But really, I love playing fucking puzzle games on this. I'm playing through Sam and Max right now. Sam and Max on this system slaps so hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. Best game. If I could elect a game for really well writing, like really good writing, but I can't figure out what the hell I'm doing, Sam and Max wins every single time. I'm trying to figure out these puzzles and my brain just doesn't work. But then I realized it's just like a silly, essentially a silly cartoon game. So you kind of have to throw logic out the window, and then you end up searching up a guide, which I always feel ashamed of. I don't know why I feel ashamed of looking up guides. If I'm staring at the screen for like 2 hours straight, then I don't know. It is what it is. Sometimes you miss things and you're like, damn, how could I have been this stupid? I feel that constantly. Anyways, yeah, no, I hope you actually enjoyed this kind of commentary video. I know it's kind of a little bit of a out of left field, really. I just kind of wanted to show my appreciation for this little frickin' handy device because I know people just like hearing about technology or the technology that they can buy. I'm always watching like stupid videos on um, YouTube Shorts or whatever, and there's like mini keyboards or whatever, and I'm like, God damn, I want that, and then I go search it up. So if there's a device that I could recommend to people, and this isn't sponsored at all, this is obviously I'm not, I'm basically a nobody right now. Um, I would recommend this device 100%. Like it's well built. It's got more than one, like it's not just for gaming. I know the main purpose, like literally look at the shape of this thing. If this doesn't speak gaming to you, then you have something wrong with your head. But really it's just a good device overall. It's not just meant for gaming. It can do multiple things, which is I think the main point of appreciation for me is just having a device that is a one and done everything. And I have lots of computers. It's just I wanted this computer, so I bought it. And yeah, no, it's cool. Again, not dissing consoles necessarily. I like consoles and I understand why people like them. Like at the end of the day, if you're having problems setting up a game on this, are you really going to want to play it? Not really. From the most part, most games on this, like if you're running it basically off Steam, it works well. But I've had no problems except for like one game that I had accidentally turned ray tracing on and I couldn't get into the settings, which was Spider-Man, and I had to reinstall it. But again, that's more due to external issues that aren't actually the device itself. It's just the game's trying to uh, work with the machine essentially, which it didn't have enough GPU storage or whatever for Spider-Man to run ray tracing, obviously. But like every device has its problems. I think every device has pros and cons. Uh, yeah, that's essentially all I have to say. Like this thing's fucking epic. If you're looking at this thing and you ever think about getting it, I recommend it. Like if you just like gaming on the side, I kind of bought this thing so I could just port some of my games over, so I wasn't keeping all of the games on my computer and I'm not distracting myself constantly. That's what it's good for. That's the main purpose why I bought it, actually, is just to kind of have a separate device that I'm not like working my computer with. My computer can be solely just specifically for work or whatever, and then I can just kind of round up and be like, hey, I don't want to sit at my desk anymore, which I sit at my desk and I'm like, I feel like I'm supposed to be working right now. Instead, I can grab this thing, I can go lay in bed, and I can watch TV or something while I'm playing this thing, while I'm playing Fallout New Vegas. Yes, Fallout New Vegas works perfectly on this thing, and honestly, best way to play it. I've never seen Fallout New Vegas, and actually, this is another thing I know I keep going and going and going. Dude, I love the screen on this thing. It's not the LED version, so it's not like the best screen on it, but it still looks really good. Like I've never seen a really crisp 720p picture before like this. I'm surprised people even made like 720p displays anymore, but a 720 display also kind of doesn't drain your battery as much from my understanding, which is why they originally chose this. I know the new ones, I think they have a higher um I think they have a higher I know they have a higher refresh rate, but I'm not sure if they have a higher like resolution, so it might be the same resolution on the new ones, but don't I'll flash up a picture if it's not. But yeah, no, these things are awesome. If you want one, get one. They're cool as shit. Gonna be honest with you. Um, Lego City Undercover, yeah, baby, works perfectly on this thing. Uh, Wallace and Gromit, the Telltale Grand Adventures works on this thing perfectly. Why you want to play those games? I don't know. It's up to you. Any games you can play any game on this. I was playing fucking the new South Park Snow Day game, which is kind of just okay. It's not like a mainline South Park game, so it's not exactly the best, but it's an okay game. It's like mildly okay. Uh, which is kind of why I thought they kind of lowered the price, because it's not a mainline South Park game. It's kind of just something you'd boot up for like 5 hours. Gonna be honest, not the most fun game. I kind of play around and then I get off, but it is what it is. There's a lot of games this generation that feel like that, but I don't know. Anyways, that's really all I have to say about this thing. Overall, it's just a really well built product, and I just kind of use it all of the time, every day, all day. Yeah, it's good. I love it, and you'll love it too if you buy one. That is, I don't know. If you don't buy the one, that's cool. Like these things are expensive for some people. I understand. Like it's not a necessity. It's a want, not a need, I guess you'd call it. But it's a I mean, I'm sure you could say that, oh, I could do video editing on this, which is basically what I was saying in my head, convincing myself. I'm like, I could use this for excuses. That's what I do with all my devices. I'm like, I could use this to do something cool with. Like uh I was joking with my mom. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna use this to pay my taxes this year, which would be a fun video to actually make. To have to file my taxes with a Steam Deck, which I think would be entertaining and also boring at the same time. So uh, let me know if you want to see that. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you. Peace.